So Satu from Magic of Nuuksio is here with me today, and we are talking about how to storify tourism experience and the Storification project that we did together with Satu. And that's been a long journey because we started working together, I think maybe almost 12 years ago. On this Wool Talks, we are going to be kind of looking back to that work that we did together and what has happened since to Magic of Nuuksio. But let's start from the beginning. Tell us, who are you, Satu, and what does your company Magic of Nuuksio do, and when did you start your company?
Nice to be here as Anne's guest. From the beginning, I'm a physiotherapist who just happened to live in Nuuksio, next to Nuuksio National Park, and because of that, I went to study to be a wilderness guide, and then I ended up to start a company called Magic of Nuuksio. About 12 years, the company has existed, and I have been working with Anne from the beginning.
We started talking today that we don't exactly remember how did we end up working together. Do you remember something about that? How did you find me, and how did you feel in the beginning in your business that you needed to have this core story for your new company?
It must have been some project where Anne gave some short introduction, and I was immediately impressed by this idea to take us storytelling part of our company, and I had this idea from the beginning to have traditions and folklore as part of our programs, and that is about storytelling and to tell the story to build a core story for our company. It sounded so good. We started to work together. Yeah, it was a nice process. Because I had to find those elements. So what is the color of the company, or what is the plant, and which animal, and from those elements Anne built a story. It was amazing how she did it, like from nothing. Actually, she made a full story, and then we made a video. And as I look every now and then, I look again this video, and it is still kind of accurate, kind of there is all the elements we still have in our work, and I think it was really important for the development of our company, and this whole idea about storification has been going along with all our programs.
I think that we will put the story of Juniper Spirit, the video, which we have also in English, so that people can see what we are talking about. What is the story of Magic of Nuuksio?
Once upon a time there was a juniper spirit who traveled from the edge of the world towards the far north. The juniper spirit flew on the back of a swan with Lappish magic in her heart. The large bird was known to the Lappish people as Juka, and for this reason this special place is nowadays known as Nuuksio. It was the Ice Age in southern Finland, and the swan collided with an iceberg which rose all the way up to the sky. The swan fell onto its side, and the juniper spirit dropped to the cold icy ground. Luckily Bear, the king of the forest, found the spirit and took her in his cave to warm up. Forest herbs were used to heal the spirit who had been hurt falling from the stars. The sun blazed for so long all the way north that the ice eventually melted. The water flowed from the rocks, making the hollows into small clear lakes. Lynxes, foxes, elk and deer came to the forest where the juniper spirit's magic had spread all around. The spirit looked after the animals and offered to help them. As a thank you, the forest gave her the best of everything: berries, mushrooms, fish and game. Nowadays, her magical home is a national park. The juniper spirit gives the treasures of the forest and the healing power of nature to those who visit Nuuksio Magic. It is like she reaches up and gives you the stars from the sky.
You still have this core story and core story video on your webpage. How does that story has changed, and do you feel that maybe you should change somehow the core story now? Because I know that there's been a lot of things happening also from when thinking about the magic of Nuuksio's story.
We don't have this creature called spirit of the juniper. It doesn't exist in our programs that way, but it is those themes in this video are really still valid. So there is the importance of the nature, the amazing nature around us, and also those traditions and folklore, which is big part of our programs, as well the wild food, the wild berries, wild mushrooms, and we only offer game and fish for our guests. So that kind of those ideas are still today in our company. They are the main themes. So
Yeah.
I think it's like as a core story, it still is valid, and I think there is nothing to change with this core story. We can build more from that story.
And I remember how we ended up using the juniper spirit was that there was a lot of this juniper that is growing there around the magic of Nuuksio, your place. And
Yes.
we found out that there is a lot of this like beautiful things that are included in that juniper, that it is this kind of healing plant and all of that.
Yes, a lot of stories, or it was a lot. When I choose a tree, it was a juniper, and really the one reason was that we have a lot of junipers here, and also there are a lot of stories around the juniper in our folklore, mainly from the Kalevala. So we have this forest walk with the goddess of the forest. Mielikki, who is the goddess of the forest, is guiding in the forest. That is one walking trip.
You're using at Mielikki's story also those themes and things that were included in the juniper spirit. So it's kind of living there again, those things.
Yes, it is. We use a lot of stories from the Kalevala because it's kind of treasure box. There is so much to find and to use. And then we have these Kalevala parties and Kalevala programs, because it's something people know better than the spirit of the juniper. It's kind of more well known.
How do you feel that what you need to consider if you're using that kind of traditional stories and characters? How to use that kind of material as part of your company's communication process?
I feel that with the international guests who doesn't have any background about our history, it's important to let them understand the time when these stories have been created, or the book, the Kalevala has been published, because it was it was still 200 years ago in Finland, we still believed on these gods of the nature, and we still kind of worshipped these old traditions. It's one thing that is good to tell as a background, that these traditions, it was a living tradition in Finland at the time these stories were written and collected beginning of 1800. I think it is one thing, and that it was like truth for these people. We didn't have, Christianity came to Finland so very late, around 1,000 years ago. So it was quite different than in Europe. And just to get this feeling that what was it to gather around the campfire or around the fire. Normally people came together around the fire and they were singing these stories. That's also very special, that it was a singing tradition where these stories of the Kalevala are coming from. We organized last Thursday, we organized a Kalevala party for 40 international guests from Netherlands and from Germany. I was there with a folk musician, so I told the story and she was singing, because the songs are in Finnish. You don't understand the story without telling what is singing. There was like in between, always before starter, after main course, we had some part of the story. We told about the creation of the world. And then there was some music around that. And then there was a story about the Wäinölä and how he built a kantele from the jaw of a pike, for example. And then Ulla, the musician, was playing kantele and singing a song around this theme. And in between you eat, and slowly you get to the final story, which is about the bear and the origin of the bear and the stories around the bear, which is also in the Kalevala and very strong, big, important part of the Finnish folk stories and traditions.
Maybe we go a bit back to that. I was asking about how do you feel about that core story, thinking that it is still in the core of the business, but do you feel that it should change somehow? Because I think that there has been quite a lot of this kind of maybe the Kalevala and its characters and stories were not so strongly part of the magic of Nuuksio's doing in the beginning. It was there, it was part, but it was not so in the center of the storification. So do you feel that it should change?
One important big change is that we have built a log house, Wäinölä, which allows us to organize these programs around the year. So it is like this Kalevala party. We can have there 40 people sitting around 4 big tables, and so then it is built so that it is easy to make this kind of a storytelling.
Yeah.
And that way, I would say that, for example, the video would be good there is need to make a new video inside the house to show what is it like.
Yeah, and definitely I think that it should be also the core story, because of course the video is only the story trailer video, so what is most important thing is the core story, and what is there in the kind of in the core of the business, the guiding story for everything you do. Maybe that story should be changed a bit. maybe the juniper spirits could still be there, but maybe even include in the story that the juniper spirit is maybe brought the Kalevala somehow to Nuuksio or something, Magic of Nuuksio or something like that. I don't know, but yeah, we were just took a little break with Satu, and we were thinking and talking about using the core story and about this change of the core story, how to change the story. And this is something that comes up in Storification workshop every now and then. And usually I of course say that the core story is something that is kind of solid, that it doesn't change when you do your core story. That is the core of your business. But of course there is this thing that if the business changes somehow, the whole business is somehow changing, then it is important to go back to core story and see that is there something that you should change with your core story. And we were talking with Satu that you kind of still feel that the juniper spirit story and the original core story is the core story for the company, and somehow now thinking that what is the way forward, how to do the changes. And you were kind of asking me that how do I see that. And I think that yes, and as you said that you should include these stories together. How do you feel about that? Somehow maybe combining what is the story nowadays and then combining it more with the original core story.
Yes, I just feel that I don't want to miss this first story. I want to keep it somehow with us. So I think it is. I don't know how to do it. I think you are the pro to find out how to build it further.
Yeah, I think it is combining the elements, and I think this is important to talk about, because this is something that can happen. And if you have the core story and business goals changes somehow, I think that you are not the only one who is having this situation. So that way it is very important to also talk about it. And I think that there is this how we can take those elements from the original core story that are still valid and important for customers' experience and from the Storification point of view, and then seeing how you can like modify it more so that it is the core story for what you do today, and what is the customer experience like. And as you said, you talked about this this Wäinölä building, and such a beautiful like environment to experience the Kalevala atmosphere and Kalevala stories that you have created. So definitely that is something that is included in your core story nowadays, and it should be maybe more made into that core story, and somehow more consciously deciding together with your team that okay, this is our core story nowadays, this is what we are, this is the story we are welcoming our customers into.
We still have on our menu, we have the main courses are named after the Finnish folklore. So Tapio was the god of the forest, and so it is the Tapio menu of Tapio, and then there is menu of Ahti, who was the god of the water, and also Mielikki, who was the goddess of the forest. And then there are different different soup are named, and actually the mushroom soup is named after the spirit of the juniper. So they are named with the goddess and gods and the spirits. Everything in our menu has the name from our folklore. And then the names, the rooms we have when we have also the accommodation and for 6 rooms for accommodation, but those rooms are named after the animals. So we have the wolf and the bear and the deer and moose and wolverine and lynx.
Yeah, really nice. Very much linked into, because the forest, the
Yes.
Nuuksio forest and the surroundings is so big part of the, yeah, what you are offering. You are in the middle.
So it is kind of the coming from the core story still, these animals and these spirits and they are still, they exist here.
Yeah, yeah. Have you used those animals somehow in the interior design for the
Yes,
rooms?
we have a big photo made on the wall from the animal, and they are made by the some are really famous photographers whose photos we have like made a canvas or a picture on the wall.
How do you want to take the story maybe further for your customers?
I think it's good. We have it is in our programs quite strongly, and also here in our location. That I think after last workshop I took part this year with Anne. I thought about the web page to have it more included on our web page.
As a story designer, yes, we should have definitely, when we are in tourism business, our webpage should be kind of like this story world that we are welcoming our customers into. So it should be very much felt that, hey, welcome to our story and what is it? Although I think that you have quite good.
At the beginning, after that story, our first web page there was a juniper spirit was there standing, but then it somehow, I don't remember what happened, but we couldn't keep her there on the front page. It was about technical things.
Things about the web page. Yeah, I remember there was this media like artist who did that kind of like the framework, like a frame for the web page, which is quite good idea. If
he connected that photo of the spirit of juniper there somehow.
Yeah, and different animals. It's something I think that companies tourism companies which are using storification, that kind of idea that there is this frame of different story elements, maybe it is the web page or something, some kind of a brochure or something like that, and then you have this kind of frame with your company's story elements. So it's quite nice idea. You took part of my storification workshop. I remember you took 1 or 2 times back in a long time ago when we started working together. You were part of my storification workshop, and this time we met online. It was an online story tree workshop, I think. And how did you feel about it after a long time listening and thinking about storification?
It was really inspiring. I got back, I had this feeling again that yes, I want to do something, and this is what we need again more. And actually you were showing a lot of examples of the storification, and that gave a lot of ideas. And in our team, we are 3 working here. We decided we are making a video from where we are introducing our location somehow. We were starting this process, how to make a story to show this place a bit different way. And actually, I have been once in between in the Kalevala workshop.
Yeah, the Kalevala webinar.
Yeah. And that was also inspiring, because after that, we did one new program. It was based on the Kalevala and the Louhi, who is the mistress of the north. And she has beautiful daughters, and the men of Kalevala village, they all want to marry her daughters. But the mistress of north, Louhi, she gives impossible tasks for these men to do to get the hand of her daughters. And so we made one program where teams have to accomplish these impossible tasks. like
Yeah, wow.
they are in the story of the Kalevala. So it was really inspiring.
Such a good example when we were talking about earlier how to use these kind of epic stories that can be quite maybe a bit difficult when thinking about this storification and how to take it into your customer's experience so that it's not too complicated or too confusing, or because the Kalevala stories are quite quite wild and complex also, so there's quite a lot to think when you're using them. So, and it was actually, I think it was Visit Finland, or maybe it was the project where they were working to how we could in Finland as tourism business owners, how we could use even more the Kalevala stories. So
it's a pity. Somehow we here in Finland, we don't really realize what kind of treasure we have. The Kalevala is very special, and all these traditions, and we could build a lot more from those. And I hope that will be a day when we also ourselves we see this importance and use more of those stories.
Yeah, Kalevala has been very, how do you say, internationally recognized as this special epic, and has been used also internationally quite interesting way. I don't know if I remember right, but was it so that the Lord of the Rings, there was some language which was inspired by Kalevala?
Yeah. J.R.R. Tolkien has got the ideas from the Kalevala. He read his Kalevala.
And unfortunately, I must say our Finnish audience, that the webinar, they had it online for everyone to see, that Kalevala webinar, but for some reason it has been taken off. Maybe the project ended or something happened, but I'm going to try to see if I could include that to my own YouTube channel somehow.
And there you gave, it was, I think in that kind of seminar, it's really great when you give ideas. You had those characters, you introduced them, and then you gave ideas that you could build up some program around this person or character, and it kind of triggers that hey, okay, this is a good idea. Maybe I can start something with this one.
Yeah, and it was quite like a short webinar. I think it was introducing those characters, maybe 30 minutes or something like that.
Yeah.
I remember when I was doing the work myself, I think I also got a bit like a new kind of how to say,
view
of Kalevala as well. For me, it was because when I was like looking those characters and trying to like think, okay, let's think from the tourism point of view, what this could be. And also, I think what comes to using this kind of traditional stories, and this is in everywhere, I think the same thing. It's not only Kalevala and Finland, but if you're using this kind of stories, there is this that you need to make it entertaining for your customers. That's something that you need to kind of a bit move away from this sharing too complex stories, too much information or something like that, and more into this thinking about how I can make this engaging, entertaining experience for my customer. And then you need to kind of start to use those traditional characters in a more open and more creative way. What do you think about that?
Absolutely, that's really important. We have We have been doing these Kalevala parties now quite many times during last years. This Wäinölä has been there now 3 years, and maybe 15 Kalevala parties we have had already. All the time you make some changes, because it's important that your guests can step into the story. If they are like outsiders, that what is this about? It's not working, and the less is more. So not too much details, and the main themes or the main characters, like we have now only Väinämöinen, the greatest hero, and Louhi, the mistress of the north. They are only characters we have.
Yeah.
And the bear.
And so important, less is more, and you need to make your choices and then build around that, because I think that is something that we quite easily in tourism we might start to adding too much story and too much things to that customers experience. And of course what comes to details, that details are of course very, very important, but not too much different.
Yeah, and now as my background is so that my husband is Dutch, and I look also nowadays a bit more from outside to Finland. So I have learned this to make it understandable, everything that they don't have the background what we have.
Yeah,
and it's kind of the thing also that we have. For example, we have always a photo of sauna with the birch branches there, and nobody or then this kind of pot where you throw the water or to the stones oven. But people abroad, they don't understand they don't combine those elements for sauna. Actually, they have no experience that they belong to sauna, especially the birch branches. So it's only our idea. It is for Finnish people. It represents the sauna, but for others, it has no meaning.
Yeah, no
Connection to sauna, and it really has the same thing everywhere. That if you don't have this background, that it doesn't give you any ideas. It was good to because you made me to think about the main themes, what is important for the company. So that first process, and then it was amazing to see this story and to be able to make a video from that. And it all turned out to be, I still love that video. I think it's a great video and great story. It combines, if you can combine there the main themes, and it makes it visible with very short story can tell a lot about the company and its values, and I think it's a good way to tell. And good story is more than any other words to describe the company and its values. Absolutely, it's important part of the building up a company.
Yeah, it is kind of this one page of story can really combine the heart of the business and heart of the experience you are offering to your customers.
Start with the open mind and maybe not to be too careful. It's one thing that we are quite careful about how do we tell about ourselves, and as a Finnish people we are really modest, so I think we should take more risks, kind of.
More wild and more wild and crazy, I think that
sometimes that is also so good to do. Anyway, you need kind of guide a coach or whatever to build this story. It's there has to be somebody outsider. I think it's important.
I think that during these years, Magic of Nuuksio and you, together with your team, you have done a great work. And I know that this has not been always not so easy years behind us and all of that. And what do you think that as a tourism business owner, how do you build a successful tourism business? What do you think? You have been doing this work now over 10 years already.
No, somehow you have to find your own way, because if everybody is having the same services and same kind of programs, it doesn't work. You have to have something special, something different from others. Like here in this region, or there's nobody else who is organizing this kind of storytelling dinners and forest trips and programs around traditions and folklore. So it has been successful because there are companies and organizations who want to provide this kind of experiences for the international guests. So I think it's been a right thing to do, and so find your own way and believe what you do, and find a good people around you. That's important to like people. We have one photographer we use all the time, and also we have a kind of business coach who is helping us and working with us. So we want to develop, and as a tourism business, you can't stand still. You have to have something new all the time to offer for your customers.
Yeah, that's good advice. And I think one of the most important things, as you said, probably is that you are true to yourself, and trusting that your own kind of what you are doing, and brave enough to take it further enough to really make it special and different, because as we talked earlier, we are kind of we don't take the differentiation and the story and all of that, we don't sometimes take it further enough, and then we end up offering quite almost the same as other tourism companies around.
And one thing about all our buildings and programs and everything is that do it perfectly well, do it well, as perfect as possible, or then don't do it at all.
Yeah, that's a good one. And I think that, looking how you do things, that you have really, really taken that to heart. It is very, very special.
Yeah, even the like in Storification, so small details matter a lot. You can't like have a story and then something around doesn't belong to the story.
Yeah, small details. Details matter so much that that's how the story comes alive. Thank you, Satu, for taking this moment. And I know that this is quite busy time for you.
We are lucky to be busy. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm grateful for your help, and I believe we are going to do something together again.